Alright, so this podcast is on go over DuplicateSpecial. So if we actually go right here to edit, we'll see a couple different kinds of duplicate. Right now we're going to focus on DuplicateSpecial. So let's open up that option box. So right here we have a bunch of stuff that we can do with DuplicateSpecial. Right now we're going to focus on smart transforms and then also instances. So first things first, smart transforms. So if you know with duplicate, if I hit Control D or Command D and move out to the side, I have a duplicate. But if I hit Control D again, I get on top of each other each time. Now, what DuplicateSpecial can do is something called smart transforms, where I can actually click this, hit Shift D, move this off to the side, and hit Shift D again, and it'll remember what I did last time. So I can keep on hitting that right there. Let me Z back. That's really cool if you want to do something like make a ring of objects. So let's go right here, move this off to the side, delete that, scale this down a little bit. And what I can do is move my pivot point to the center of the grid and hit Shift D, spin this a little bit around, and then I can populate into a circle over and over again by hitting Shift D repeatedly. Like so. So something I would have to go and meticulously lay out, I can get done in a few seconds. So let's go ahead, delete all these. Another thing we can do also is the greatest tricks in modeling is that we can build in pieces and duplicate it back together and put it together. So why model something that is symmetrical as a whole when you can actually cut it in half? So let's go right here, center this pivot, hit X and drag it to our origin. And what I'm going to do now is delete all these. And let's say this is some awesome model that I did, and I only did 1/4 of it, and I wanted to quickly put it back together. What I can do is make sure that pivot's right there in the center, go to Edit, DuplicateSpecial, and right here, not only can I tell how many copies I want, so if I want to make a complete cylinder again, I just make 3 more copies, and then I can mess around with the rotate right here. So when you see 3 boxes next to each other, they just denote X, Y, and Z. So let's go ahead and just reset this real quick. Set this back to 3. And what I want to do is just spin this around in 90-degree increments. And hit apply. And as you can see, why it's still separate pieces and I need to combine it and merge verts, I quickly rebuilt this object. Right. So that's pretty much in a nutshell what smart transforms is. Now let's go over instances. Now, what instant is pretty much you're telling Maya to show the same object multiple times. It's a way of saving memory, and memory is very important when you come to rendering. Now, click right here, and we can hit instance, and let's do the same thing. We'll spin that around. And it looks exactly the same. Doesn't seem like there's anything different about it. But while this may look like different objects, they're actually pretty much the same object. So if I go right here, select this vert, and move it down, all the identical verts on each one of the objects move along with it. And this is really good, especially with your garage project when you're building that tire and you need to match up those pieces. Duplicate instance over to the side and you can start snapping stuff together to match that pattern with each one. When you can actually duplicate it later, you can quickly merge the verts without having to worry about going in there and doing it by hand. Now, there's a couple things to keep in mind. Again, this is not real geometry, and why we can actually move parts of it right here. It still controls the original. So what you want to do is always make sure that when you want to use an instance, have it as an instance. If you want it as a copy, make sure you do that right there, because if you leave this on and start duplicating it and trying to do individual tweaks, you're going to end up messing with everything else. So definitely remember to have this in the right point that you want. All right, so that's pretty much Duplicate Special. All right, good day.